We're joined now by Chen Chenchen. She is Deputy Director of Macroeconomics and is a research fellow at Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies at Renmin University of China. Why don't we start by talking a little bit more about this meeting? Why is it so important? I know it basically comes up with targets for 2018. That's critically important, one would think.
Yeah, well, Mike, as we just mentioned in the news part, actually this is the very first Central Economic World Conference right after the 19th CPC Congress, exactly 2 months ago. So now people are watching very closely how the goals that we brought up in the 19th CPC Congress now goes to reality through specific policy signals. So now we are watching in the 3-day meeting, like specific fields such as the financial risk control, pollution control, as well as the poverty alleviation. All these concern the future development of Chinese economy from the past high-speed growth to the future high-quality development in the future. Mike.
Yeah, those are some of the key issues. I imagine the housing market, too. I know that our reporter was talking a little bit about that. Banking reforms. Talk to me about some of the things, and all of these are very difficult issues to tackle. Are there going to be incremental steps to address them, you think?
Yeah, I think so. Now, I think the basic guideline for the Chinese government is that it wants to maintain the economic stability while seeking progress. So either when you talk about the banking system stability, when you talk about poverty alleviation, the prerequisite is that the economic scale would be basically maintained. It will not like increase or reduce very quickly. So that next year, if you talk about the ambition for next year, I would say that most observers are predicting that the economic growth rate will be between 6.5% to 6.7%, which will largely be at the same level of the past of this year. So I would say the basic economic stability is still there, no matter what kind of structural reforms you're talking about.
Yeah, you know, that's one of the amazing things about China. Growing the economy is something that they've been very, very good at. And many people kind of thought it would be a slower rate as China changes the direction from manufacturing to a service economy, and yet it doesn't seem like we've seen a lot of bumps in the road. Why is that?
Yeah, I think so, because the Chinese government is still trying to push the economy from an investment-driven to the innovation-driven. So during this process, of course, you need to come up with all kinds of creative methods to make the economy more innovation-driven. For example, when you talk about the getting rid of overcapacity in industries like steel industry, of course, you will not just get the reduction in volume of the production, but more specifically, to come up with new technologies. Of course, in this process, because you are adjusting, it's natural that there will be economic reform, but it's very important that we are bringing the Chinese manufacturing to a higher value-added industrial chain in the world, Mike.
And we've been talking a lot about 2018, but looking back on 2017, what do you think are some of the milestones that China can look to with pride?
You mean the milestones this year or next year?
Yeah, this last year. 2017 is coming to a close. What are some of the highlights that you see? Okay,
I think the biggest highlight lies in the a reform of SOE, that is the state-owned enterprises. Actually, that sits in the very center of the whole economic reform of China. I have actually visited the northeastern regions of China where there are many large-scale SOEs, the state-owned enterprises there. I think it's quite difficult for them to really come up with the mixed ownership reforms. And also, when you get rid of when you have the layoff of many state-owned enterprises workers, you also need to come up with new methods to make sure that the social stability is still there. So, but I think this year generally is already the starting year. And next year, more vigorous measures will be taken while maintaining the overall stability, Mike.
Yeah, and it's something that we'll definitely keep our eyes on. Chen Chenchen, thanks so much for your observations.